Welcome, everybody, to Off the Cuff. I'm Adam Banks. Thank you for listening to the show. I could listen to that song all day. It is November the 8th, and it is the most important day in America. Some would say it's the most important day in the world because it is Election Day. And the reason I say it's the most important day in the world because everybody around the world is focused on the presidential office. Who's going to become the next president of the United States? It's between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, two of the most bizarre candidates ever. One, because Donald Trump is an outsider. He's never had any experience in politics, nor has he ever been in the military. And Hillary Clinton, because she's a woman, and she could be the first woman's president. But here in the studio joining me, I have two friends of the show. I have Zack Hahn and Jordan Conaster. Guys, how's it going?
Oh, man, being called a friend of the show, that is, I appreciate that you did that, man. I mean, off the cuff, just always a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely.
It is a pleasure to be back. Thanks for having me back, and we've got an exciting night tonight with see who's going to be our next president.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, the fact that this only comes around every 4 years, it's just, it's mind-blowing. And I find it fascinating. I mean, it's fun to watch because it is a countdown. They don't just come out and just surprise the next they don't just announce the president like that. They count it down.
It's definitely a process.
It is. And who would you say has had the best presentation tonight out of all the channels? I mean, NBC, CBS, ABC, CNN, Fox News. Who has had the best presentation?
I think we all kind of came to the same conclusion that it looks to me like CNN has had the best tonight. They just show a little bit more than everybody else. They seem like they're a little bit more technologically advanced than just about everybody else.
Yeah, their county, the way they can break down it like on another level down there has been impressive, and that's something I haven't seen any of the other networks do.
I know. I like that. I do like the way that CNN has. I mean, they have the talent. They have Wolf Blitzer in there. I haven't seen Anderson Cooper.
No, I haven't seen him yet this evening. But Wolf Blitzer has really, he's been pretty sharp with it. But
he has been.
I don't know. It could be a long night for CNN.
They call election night. They call it the World Series for news anchors because this is their World Series.
It really is. I mean,
this is their Super Bowl.
It's like the World Cup. It only comes once every 4 years.
Well, let's talk about the American presidential election. Let's talk about the importance of it. Do you think that people, and I'm getting a sense that they do because I also want to talk about voter turnout. It's been amazing. But do you think that people are getting a good grasp and a good appreciation about how serious and how important this office is?
I think that with anything, the turnout rates like you were talking about, it's amazing. I think the American people definitely do, to a large extent, realize how important the presidential elections are, Adam.
Yeah. Still, a lot of it that amazes me is just talking to different people, and it still amazes me that I even have friends that didn't go vote today. Every vote does matter when it comes down to it.
Yeah, there have been people on this show that have come on this show and have another friend of the show did not go out and vote today. Very, very disappointed in him. Didn't go out and vote. And there's somebody coming in the studio here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
wonder who it could be.
Adam, I thought you had better security here.
Sometimes does people not know we're on the air?
I guess the Secret Service was busy this evening.
Yeah, we're on the air. And unless there's something in that bag for me, she can.
We're gonna have to do another podcast.
Yeah, but no, ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue the show. This is off the cuff. Anything can happen. But we do have somebody. Who did you vote? Did you vote today, Ashley?
I did.
Yeah. Who did you vote for president?
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson and Zack.
Found one.
Yeah, we found a Gary Johnson supporter, and I feel like that Gary Johnson, he has really taken away a lot of these important votes that could really determine who wins a state, like Florida, Ohio. Not Ohio. I mean, I think you pretty much wasted your vote there in Kentucky.
I didn't because I exercised my right to
Yeah.
vote.
Well, let's talk about.
At least you exercised the right to vote. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point, right?
Let's talk about who we voted for. I voted for Donald Trump. I've done a whole podcast on why I think Donald Trump will be the better man to run as or to be the president. And I'm not going to bore you guys with the details of why I think that. But just to give you a little rundown, one, I like his whole slogan, "Make America Great Again." America's not the greatest country in the world anymore, and we need to make it the greatest country again. Jordan, who did you vote for?
Well, I still think America's the greatest country in the world, so
Thanks.
I don't think anything could change that. I think there's so much better. You know, we have everything so much better here than so many other places. You know, everywhere goes through its hard times, and you know, at some extent, I think we're going through a little bit of a harder time, and something that we haven't fully seen in our lifetime right now. But you know, as America, we always overcome everything, and I went out today and I went ahead and voted Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump, you know, Hillary has more of a political mindset. She has more of a political background than Donald Trump, who has virtually none. He's been a businessman his entire life. But I think Donald Trump could also have a lot of upside, and he could also help this country getting out of debt, getting a little bit more back on top of things to where I think we should be right now. So I think Donald Trump is more of a long shot, but he has the most potential, in my opinion. Hillary, we kind of know what we're going to get with Hillary. And either way it goes, I honestly don't think that either one of them are going to be bad for this country in the long run. Hillary's she's been there before. Bill, you know, was in office for 8 years, and she's been doing politics for 30 plus years. So
Yeah. So you pulled the lever for Trump. All right. And Zach, who did you pull that lever for?
I didn't pull a lever. First off, let's get the facts straight. It was a little dial.
Okay.
And I spun it over, and I'll acknowledge it. You know, you guys said like if you come on here, you got to say who you voted for.
Yeah.
So I voted for Clinton, and it's not looking good for us at this point. I'll go ahead and say that. But you know, like you're talking about America's. The statement "Make America Great Again,"
Okay.
Adam, it implies that America's not great. Like, I mean, Trump. Nobody before Trump was making that statement. But at the end of the day,
Jeff Daniels made it on that TV show, which was a great video. I don't know if anybody's watched it. He's the newsroom. You need to watch it. I'll show it to you.
Oh, in the newsroom. Yeah. It was in the pilot.
It was called the Make America is not the greatest country anymore speech.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got to give a plug for the show. I mean, we're talking about the election, man. You need to get somebody. You had the guy from
Better Call
Saul. You had him on here.
Yeah.
So off the cuff, you know, there's a certain part of it that's definitely about like, you know, TV shows.
Yeah, entertainment. Yes.
You need to get somebody from Designated Survivor on here. Yeah. I don't think you'll get President Kirkman, but maybe one of the members of the staff or something like that. You know.
Kiefer Sutherland. Could you imagine his voice coming through off the cuff? That would be.
That would be great.
Oh, that's amazing.
Get him in studio, man. I mean, this is you got to sell him on this chair, dude. It's comfy.
I know it. Yes, I would love to get more in studio guests, but I do. I mean, so we have a diverse crowd here in the audience. We have a Gary Johnson voter. We have a Donald Trump. We have 2 Donald Trump voters and a Hillary Clinton voter. And, you know, I do think that if Hillary Clinton won the presidency, I do think that it would be a dark day in America for men. And the reason I say that is because it would emasculate every man in the United States. We would lose our power as being the dominant leader that
it wouldn't be the first time in world history that there was a woman.
It wouldn't be in more. I'm talking about for the American people. That's what we can pride ourselves. Hold on, we can pride ourselves as being a nation that has been ran by great, fearless men. And that's what it was built upon. I think that's what it should. You know, I don't know. I do think that a woman could potentially be a good president. I just don't think Hillary Clinton was that woman. So I guess I have yet to be shown a woman that could be a good
I think this might make it difficult. And maybe Jordan, I don't know if you disagree with me on this, but I think this makes it harder for a woman if she was to not win. And, you know, there's still a long way to go in this. We're talking about like it's a foregone conclusion. At this point, but like, I mean, I think that if Hillary does not win, it does make it more difficult for a woman to win in the future. Do you?
I don't see that happening. America's so diverse on everything now that, you know, whether you're a man, you're a woman, whatever. If you're the best candidate to run this country, then I have no problem with voting either way. So.
I mean, I agree with you on that for sure, but what I'm saying is I have yet to be shown that. I do think that a woman could potentially be the president. I just have yet to be shown a woman that could do that job. So, the president, it's still going on as we speak, and right now Donald Trump is winning that. And, I mean, it's just up in the air. and no big states have been announced yet. Florida,
Well, I mean,
Ohio.
Up in Wisconsin as well.
Yeah, look at that, man. Donald Trump could potentially be the president.
Florida and Ohio, those are two of the biggest ones, in my opinion, right now that have not
Oh, it is.
fully came in yet.
We're
And
watching
they're
CNN
very-
here, and I haven't seen the map in a while.
I had
Or
not.
the score.
No, and they haven't shown the popular vote either. I think that Trump could get the popular vote. That's for sure. Which I think that. Okay, here's a question for you: should the presidential winner, should the winning office be determined through the popular vote or the electoral college?
Well, I'd have to defer to the Constitution on that one. I think it's pretty clear that it's the Electoral College. And, there is a process, Adam. You told me this was going to be a civics lesson.
Okay.
There is a process to, change that. And I think, if that process can be followed, then sure, have the popular vote do it. But you have to go through those hoops, so to speak. And right now it's very, very much laid out that it's the Electoral College.
Okay, I think you misunderstood what I'm saying. Like, you are saying that it should be the electoral college because that's what the Constitution says. If you could change it, if they sit you in a room and they said, Zach, it's going to be what you decide here. The president is going to be determined by the American voters' popular vote or the electoral college. You can change it. It's up to you. What would you have that be?
That's a tough decision, man. I mean, what would you do?
I would do popular.
I'm going popular also on that. You get more of the people's voice.
That would
Yes, that's when your vote really matters too.
That would make Kentucky's vote even less than it is, though, because I think it would really be about the big cities at that point. You got to look at the.
I mean, there's close to as many people in Chicago as the entire state of Kentucky. So
How many people live in Chicago?
like 3 million, something like that.
Can we check on that?
Yeah, 3 million people.
We're gonna get that. We're sorry, folks. I mean, we should have our numbers here about that, but.
Is she looking up Chicago?
I guess she's going to look up Chicago versus Kentucky. I think Kentucky's about 4 million, something like that.
Yeah, so I definitely do think it should be popular vote. No, but think about if it was that way. What president would have won if it was based off the popular vote? Al Gore would have won in 2000.
Yeah, but I mean that's really not the way our government's set up at all, though, because we've got Senate where every state, whatever the smallest state, like North Dakota, they get the same number of senators that California does. Like there has to be kind of a balance to it, I think.
Yeah, how many, Ashley?
Chicago has 2.7 million and Kentucky has 4.4 million.
So I mean, you get one city, and that's almost the
Yeah,
entire
I know,
state
Chicago,
of Kentucky.
like the whole state of Illinois.
But everything else is ran off popular vote. Every other office, the senators,
because that's within a state.
the mayors.
The president's really the only one that all the states are voting on.
Since Off the Cuff is done live mostly in Kentucky, let's talk about a few Kentucky offices. The U.S. Senator Rand Paul was reelected into office. He beat Jim Gray, the mayor of Lexington, out. I voted Jim Gray because I thought I live in Lexington. It's where he was the mayor. I think he's done a fabulous job as the mayor, and I think he could take his business skills and transfer those over to being a good U.S. Senator. Who did you vote for, Jordan?
I went Rand Paul. I don't know how many more big holes that Jim Gray could make in the state of Kentucky. He's already made one big hole in the city of Lexington, so I'm just not a big fan of Jim Gray, so I just went ahead and went Rand Paul.
Okay.
You're looking over at me. You want me to know? Well, okay, Banks, we're both on the losing side on this one because that one's already over.
Yeah.
Like this Trump-Clinton one might stretch on for a while, but I voted for Jim Gray as well, and I agree with Jordan. The hole has been. It has been.
Harp on the hoe. I mean, here's your voice to harp on the hoe a little bit. I mean, you've harped on the hoe. Here's your outlet.
Here's what I'll say. I voted for Jim Gray in the election today, but if it had been the Democratic mayoral primary at this point, I would have had to look at somebody else over Jim Gray because of the whole. Like, I mean, on the whole, pun intended there, Lexington's been good, but there's been this giant pit in the middle of our city for about 8 years.
And does that frustrate you?
A little bit.
But why?
I feel like the government should have done something at this point. Like, in a sense that, that they're responsible for the city.
It's an eyesore.
Yeah. But, I mean, I think Clinton won Fayette County as a whole, and I'm pretty sure, we just keep talking about the whole. I think Jim Gray won Fayette County. So,
Yeah.
61% I think he had earlier. So, you know, I mean, you got to vote for your own mayor in the Senate election. You know, he's going to do things for the town.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, so, but he lost, and I always predicted that on the show. I always said that he would lose by a landslide, mostly because of his sexuality, because he's gay, and Kentucky is a very conservative state. And you're not going to get Eastern Kentucky voters to vote for a gay man. You're just not. So, and he won. But United States Congressman Andy Barr and Nancy Jo Kemper. Andy Barr was reelected. That was just a election I really was just like, whatever. I didn't care. I voted Andy Barr. But, Jordan, who did you?
I went ahead and went Andy Barr.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about either one of them, to tell you the truth. So
No, Nancy Jo Kemper, though, she campaigned the hell out of her name. I mean, she really got her name out there.
I thought she had a few more ads. I ended up voting for her. This was the first time, man, that I voted. The only Republicans I voted for were the ones that were running unopposed. But I went 3 for 3 Democrat in that one. Normally wouldn't be a straight ticket voter, but it was I felt like I had to go all the way down the ticket with it.
Well, let me just tell you guys, when I went down to vote today, early this morning, I was looking at the ballot, and I was looking at every position that was being out there to vote for, and I noticed one that really frustrated me, the Urban County Council District 9, because I swear to God, I was going to run for that. Do you guys remember me tossing around that idea I was going to run for state?
I remember you had the papers. The papers.
I had the papers to run for Lexington City Council, and I was going to run against Jennifer Masato, and I was looking on the ballot, and nobody ran against her. So I would have been on the ballot.
You would have got some votes.
I would have got some votes, and I would have got some votes because I'm a man and she's a woman. And people are sometimes voters. You gotta be real. You gotta be real. Sometimes people would vote for a man over a woman. They just would. So I would have got it off that. I would have got some voters maybe off they like my name. You know, if I see an Adam on a ballot and I have no idea what either of these candidates do, I usually don't.
You know what we're talking about now?
What?
There's an old saying that goes, "If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, then we'd all have a Merry Christmas." Are you gonna run the future? Is it off the table forever?
Here's what turned me off.
Can we see it in 2018, whenever the next city council?
It's a great question, and I'm not.
in 2017.
And not to make an official announcement, but if I do make an official announcement, it will be on the show. But I don't know if I will dip my. I've always been interested in politics and always been very willing to do public service, but they drag a lot of stuff out on you, and there's a lot of stuff in like technology that I would just hate to be put out there, you know, because I've been to college. I've been
council level though.
No, if I ever just progressed, and I wouldn't want to get into public service and do a small office. I would want to, of course, start out in small office, but then advance. City council would be a great way to start, but what turned me off with it this year was you had to have 100 signatures, and I didn't feel like going out and getting 100 signatures. I just want to be on the ballot.
People, huh?
Yeah, I want to be on the ballot and campaign that way. I want to get my name out there, and there's a lot of offices that
Jordan,
you can do that.
Believe this, man.
I mean, you
listen to this guy. He wouldn't go out and get 100 signatures from the people in his district, dude.
Like I was telling him earlier, we were talking about the same thing earlier today, and you know, somebody with Adam's personality and everything, I think that would have been honestly the best way to get in there, to get on the ballot, and then have a chance of winning.
Yeah,
with
if
your
you got
personality,
40%, that would have been respectable. You could have somebody probably would have helped you out at that point.
Right.
Go in there and tell people, you know, the thoughts that you have for the city and the things that you would like to do, and you know what it means to you ever since you've been here, how much the city means to you, and you know that's the best way to pick things up. So.
I mean, man, and I appreciate that. You know, I'm not going to completely knock it off the table. I will run for probably a public office soon. Would you ever toy with the idea of that for yourself, Zach?
Oh, maybe in the future. You know, I mean, I still like that. Like, you know, politics, I think it just makes you feel old, man. It's been hard even talking about this. I wish we only had an election, well, every 4 years. But that's about enough, dude. That's about enough. So
Right. And Jordan, I think you would make a great politician because you locally, like if you ran for something like sheriff or if he ran for a
See,
magistrate.
that's about the most as I can see out of myself is wanting to be
Jordan would a
sheriff.
great sheriff, wouldn't he?
He would be a wonderful
man.
sheriff, man.
Jordan, he'd be my pick for sheriff in Owsley County, for Lincoln County, anywhere, man.
Or a great magistrate too, like work on the roads.
Remind me of like Rick Grimes, like you're that level of sheriff, man.
A city councilman too. He could do a good city councilman. But we're going to wrap this show up, and before we leave, let's just give a little update on the presidential election right now as we speak, and it is currently 9:57 p.m. Donald Trump is winning 136 to 104. Still a lot of states to be determined. No major state has been announced.
They're getting close to halftime.
Or maybe they have announced them and we've missed it because we've been doing the podcast.
You've got Texas. Texas has been
I think
announced,
it's
but
like Trump leads at the half, 136 to 104 right now.
I'm not saying
he's got a 32-point lead.
Yeah. I'm not saying Texas is not a big state, but I'm talking about these battlegrounds because people probably.
You still got the Florida and Ohio.
Yeah, since CNN has not declared Ohio, Florida, North Carolina, Pennsylvania yet. Still a lot of big states in play.
Pennsylvania has a lot of votes. You got another big state that's came out already. Illinois they've got 22 electoral votes. They've already came out. But you've got, you're going to have Hillary's probably going to win. California, no matter what, that's always a blue state, and they have 55 electoral votes. So that's going to be a nice jump for her.
Absolutely. Well, we come into the show with some Willie Nelson. You know what I would like to close out with? I would like to close out with some Brooks and Dunn. Keep it country. Keep it on the southern level because we are coming at you live from Kentucky. Don't forget. And, we're approaching episode 140. I mean, we are really moving on up in the episodes for Off the Cuff.
I can't wait to see you hit 200, man. That's going to be a big one.
Yeah, and I've already announced in like episode 103, 104 that Zack Hahn would be hosting episode 200. It's already been promoted.
Gee, how long ago was that? You got to remind the folks, man. I can't wait for episode 200.
Well, episode 200 won't premiere until March of 2018. So, I mean, it's still a while off. It gives us something to shoot for, and it's also a lot can happen from now to 2018.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a long time. No telling where we'll be in 2018, but I hope that it is. Can we sit on the couch for that?
We definitely can sit on the couch for that to be.
Come on, we can have a conversation, man.
Can I put my feet up like when Oprah does an interview with Tom Cruise? You know how they'll both sit on the couch and
putting your feet up. That's an edgy move, man. I mean, remember, it's going to be a professional interview, so don't get too comfortable.
You know what we should do?
Disrespect the process.
And I'm just going to throw this idea. I think this is an awesome idea. We should do this interview and go Facebook Live and do it Also do the podcast.
What's the best medium we can put it on in 2018? Hey, there's no telling when it'll be out there, man.
You're right.
Maybe people could basically The Matrix. I watched that movie the other night. Maybe that'll be around by then, and people can just plug right into it, man.
All right, well. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to the show. Zach, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. Jordan, thank you for coming back, man. Good to have you on a show that's not been about sports.
It seems like everything I always get on are all the college basketball shows. So
like to have you.
I like it. I'll have to start joining more often.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, listen, we're going to close y'all out with some Brooks and Dunn. We'll see you, ladies and gentlemen, in the next episode.